That night, something just felt off. Mom said the house was quiet, but her heart, nah, it was pounding. She could hear Dad's voice coming from his study, soft, low, like he was trying to hide something. She followed that sound real slow, every step heavier than the last, and then she froze. You ever feel that chill that hits your bones before your heart even knows why? Yeah, that one. And there he was, my dad, laughing with some woman in a red dress, holding a glass of wine like he owned the world. Mom didn't need proof. She saw it right there. The tray slipped from her hands. Glass hit the floor, but it wasn't just glass that broke, man. That was her whole damn world shattering. Dad turned around, looking guilty as hell. Mom couldn't even speak. Sometimes the silence says way more than words ever could. And me, I was just a kid hiding behind the curtains, watching the whole damn thing. Too young to get it, but old enough to feel that heartbreak. Mom just stood there, staring at the mess on the floor. Broken glass, broken heart, all the same, right? Dad froze like he got caught red-handed. She walked up to him, tears rolling, voice shaking. You could feel that mix of pain and rage, man. The kind of pain that eats you alive. He tried to play it cool, loosened his tie, looking everywhere but her eyes. But guilt don't hide, no matter how sharp your suit is. Then she snapped, pointed straight at the door, telling that woman to leave. Her voice cracked, but damn, she still sounded strong. And me? I was behind those curtains again, clutching the fabric so tight my fingers hurt. I didn't understand the words, but I sure as hell felt the storm. Mom dropped to the couch, crying like the world just ended. Dad stood there, torn between guilt and pride, and still walked away. That was the night everything fell apart. Couple weeks later, rain was pouring, sky looking like it had something to say. And then, boom, Dad pulled up with her. Yeah, the same woman, right to our damn house. Mom was standing there, towel in hand, like she just saw a ghost. The man she built her life with just waltzed in like nothing happened, like betrayal had a front door key now. That woman smiled, sweet, polite, like she ain't the reason my mom couldn't sleep at night. And Dad couldn't even look Mom in the eye. Guess guilt makes a man blind. Mom stepped closer, whispering words that felt like fire, her face half in light, half in shadow, like even God couldn't decide whether to bless or break her. I was on the stairs, clutching my rabbit, watching the whole thing from above. They say kids don't remember, but trust me, heartbreak sticks. He walked her upstairs, like he was leading pride instead of sin. Mom dropped to her knees right there in the hall, and that was the night love finally died. Next morning, hit quiet, too damn quiet. Suitcases by the door, rain still dripping from the roof. Mom holding my hand, eyes red, heart empty. She begged a man, not with words, but with her eyes, the kind that screamed louder than any cry could. But he was already gone inside. I ran to him, grabbed his leg like I could stop time. Told him, "Don't go, Daddy." My voice cracked, and his silence hit harder than any goodbye. He bent down, looked like he might stay. But now, he straightened up, cold as stone, and pushed me aside. That's the day I learned love ain't always kind. Mom fell to the floor, holding me tight while he walked away. His shadow got smaller in the sunlight, but it still feels big in my chest. Car door slammed, engine roared. He didn't look back. And just like that, our forever drove off into the sunrise. After he left, it was just us, me, Mom, and the silence that moved in with us. The fancy house was gone. All we had was a tiny apartment and hope that barely fit. Mom would smile while serving soup like it was a feast. She'd shake so bad I could hear the spoon clinking, but she still said, "Eat up, baby." That's love right there. I asked when he was coming back. She didn't answer, just smiled that sad smile that said everything and nothing at the same time. Rain hit the windows like the world was crying with us. Mom would just stare outside, thinking. I'd draw pictures of us, all three of us, pretending the family was still whole. Nights got long, Mom sewing till her fingers bled, trying to make ends meet. I'd fall asleep to the sound of thread and heartbreak, but every night she'd kiss my forehead and whisper, "I'll make it right." And even back then, I believed her. because somehow that woman's pain still glowed like hope. Even when her body started failing her, Mom refused to give up. She'd fix her old coat, take a deep breath, and head out looking for work like she still had something left to prove. I remember watching her go from shop to shop, asking for any kind of job. Folks would smile, say, "We'll call you," but nobody ever did. It was winter, and her hands would turn red from the cold, but she'd just tuck 'em in her sleeves and keep walking. That's who she was, all heart, no quit. Sometimes she'd stop at the park, pull out my picture, and smile like he gave her strength to keep going. I didn't know she saw her do it. Then one day, she saw a sign at an office downtown, hiring cleaning staff. That tiny glimmer of hope hit her like sunlight through clouds. She got that job. It wasn't much, just sweeping floors and making coffee. But to her, it meant a second chance, a reason to fight again. Next morning, Mom walked into this tiny office like she was walking into a new chapter. Same old coat, same tired shoes, but a little bit of hope in her step. The lady at the desk smiled, warm, kind of real. Mom slid her resume across like it was her last dollar, praying this time someone saw her work. And then it happened. The woman nodded, said, "We could use someone like you." Man, that line hit harder than a paycheck. Mom stepped out holding that paper like gold. Tears in her eyes, sunlight hitting her face like the world finally said, "Welcome back." When she got home, I ran straight into her arms. She laughed, said, "Mama got a job." And for the first time in forever, it felt like we were winning again. That night, we ate soup and bread like it was Thanksgiving. Candle burning low, hope burning high. Mom woke up early that day, nervous but glowing. She pinned that little name tag like it was a medal. First step of her comeback, she kissed me goodbye, told me to be good. I watched her from the window. She looked so small, but damn, she walked like she had purpose. Walking into that office must have felt like stepping into another world. Everybody staring, new faces, new rules. But Mom, she just smiled. Lunchtime in office. She sat alone outside. Just a sandwich and silence. But for once, that silence felt peaceful. Like maybe life was starting to listen. Mom started coughing a lot that night. She tried to hide it, but I could tell something was real wrong. I ran to get her some water, hands shaking, heart racing. She still smiled, trying to make it look small. She said, "Mama's just tired." But her voice, it didn't sound like tired. It sounded like pain wearing a brave face. Later, I counted every coin we had, told myself I'd help her somehow, even if I was just a kid. Next morning, I got dressed like nothing was wrong, packed her lunch with mine, trying to be strong for both of us. I kissed her forehead before leaving. She didn't wake up, but I whispered anyway, "I got you, Mama." That morning, I held Mom's hand and made a promise. I didn't know how, but I swore I'd take care of her. I grabbed the few coins we had left, bills on the table, meds almost gone. It was on me now. I walked those foggy streets like I had a plan. Truth is, I just had heart. Then I saw this old flower shop. Walked in, asked the man if she needed help. My voice was shaking like crazy. He smiled and handed me a broom. Man, that tiny moment felt like the world saying, "You got this, kid." That night, I brought Mom flowers from the leftovers. Told her, "These are for you." I finally felt a little hope.